Is Manchester City-Liverpool the greatest Premier League rivalry of the Premier League era?
No.
Is it too friendly a rivalry? Is there too much conviviality? Is there too much hugging, high-fiving and backslapping going on? Should it be a bit more acrimonious?
Yes. I mean, here, listen, two of the best teams, two right up there, two of the best teams we've seen in the Premier League era. No doubt about that. But best rivalry, behave. Behave, Jamie Carragher. Just because your team's relevant again over the last few years. No, it's not the best rivalry the Premier League's ever seen, not by a long shot.
Although it is the first time that, in terms of quality, both teams could lay claim to being among the best in Europe. Because Arsenal never made it in the Champions League when Man United, Arsenal.
Neither of Man City.
They've made the final.
Yeah, so did Arsenal. 2006, beaten by Barcelona 2-1. No, not having that. Not one iota. We're talking about the Invincibles. I can't believe I'm sticking up for Arsenal here. Talking about the Invincibles, for goodness sake. Talking about Man United team that won the treble. Talking about a Jose Mourinho team that came in and raised the bar. No, Man City and Liverpool, great teams. Rivalry. No, it's not a rivalry. Why? Because as you rightly point out, it's all backslapping. It's too respectful. Proper rivalries when there's needle. Pizzagate, that's what I want to see. Man United, Arsenal. Proper. Roy Keane, I'll see you out there. I'll see you out there. None of that now. Nah. Best rivalry in the Premier League? Not by a long shot. It's not though, is it? Two great teams.
2 more seasons and it's got the makings of it.
Come on, it doesn't, Rob. If Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola are hugging it out, if all the players afterwards are high-fiving and hugging and, doing that thing where they cover their mouths and chat, laugh, chat, laugh, it's not a rivalry.
Well, that's just modern sport then.
That's just nonsense. No, I want a rivalry is where it's like, no, you don't look at them. You don't even, you don't talk to them certainly, but you don't look at them. No, we're out in that football field.
But I think most modern players have moved beyond that kind of tribal rivalry. It's a much football among professionals now at the top end of the game is a much more transient business. I don't think you get the same sense of febrile loyalty that you would do 20 years ago. The De Bruynes of this world are always going to be chatting to the Van Dijks. You're not going to get Keane versus Vieira again.
Oh, listen, you'll get that again.
I think that ship has sailed personally. No, come on.
There are players that don't like each other out there. That still happens. That still goes on.
But at the end of the day, it's all they're all pals. There's a lot of conviviality. You got two managers. I don't think there's anything wrong with two managers respecting one another.
Oh, listen, respect's one thing, but again, you're asking me if it's the greatest rivalry.
Yeah, but I'm asking you from a quality perspective, from a...
it's up there, but again, it's recentism, isn't it? I mean, the Man United Arsenal games. I remember United going to Highbury, winning 4-2. I mean, it was frenetic. It was just a wonderful advert for football. Patrick Vieira scoring early, like those rivalries back then. And maybe I've got my rose-tinted spectacles on, but there have been wonderful rivalries. Again, give me the checklist. What makes a great rivalry? I think you do need a bit of needle. Two teams at their absolute pomp. That's absolutely where Liverpool, Man City are. Two great managers. Yep, right up there. You can make an argument to say that the very best two, as Fergie and Wenger were back those years ago. Mourinho, a young Mourinho coming in and upsetting the apple cart. And I just think this rivalry needs a little bit more in order to make it a real rivalry. It needs that needle.
I think as long as Pep and Jurgen are managers of those two clubs respectively, you're not going to get any acrimony. You're not going to get Ferguson, Wenger. Even to a certainly not Wenger, Mourinho.
All it takes is a bad tackle. There are these moments in any rivalry. It takes a bad tackle, Pep to defend his player, Jurgen to come in. It's an emotive sport, isn't it? We've seen that in the past. Again, I'll go back to my neck of the woods. Very famous tackle, Neil Simpson on Ian Durrant, Aberdeen Rangers. That lit the tinderbox of that particular rivalry back in the early 90s, and that match-up now has never been the same since. People go back to that moment, and I think that's maybe what this rivalry kind of needs. It needs a little bit of needle nastiness. Can't quite believe I'm saying that. I can't condone that, but
I just don't, it doesn't have the kind of makeup, the player kind of, what's the word I'm looking for here?
The hard man.
It doesn't have the player profile. They're technicians. They're not kind of. You don't see the Gennaro Gattusos. They're not like that.
No.
They're players. Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne. They're technicians. They're not going to have.
All right, Brendan.
It's true, isn't it?
It's true. I know what you're getting at. Yeah, there's Jordan Henderson, Fabinho, and Thiago Alcantara versus Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva.
A lot of gentlemen on that pitch.
Rodri, yeah, maybe.
A lot of gentle giants.
I'm taking nothing away from it. It was a wonderful advert. There are two teams, as I say, two very best teams at the peak of their powers, two wonderful managers.
I think it is, when you look at it, even recentism, football moves on, football evolves, even with recentism as taken into account. It's the best quality we've ever seen in the Premier League from two teams.
Again,
consistently, Chris.
I'm reticent to agree with that, Rob.
It is. We've never had. I'm sorry. As great as that Man U team was in the late '90s, and I think it was a fantastic team.
No, you're forgetting about the best United team.
2008, sure. As great as that team was as well, you've never had. When you look at the players involved in the pitch, some of them the best in the world in their position.
Oh, come on, Rob. You had Cristiano Ronaldo, Wayne Rooney, Carlos Tevez, Frank Lampard, Didier Drogba, John Terry. Don't for 1 second tell me John Stones is better than John Terry. Don't for 1 second tell me Joe Matip's better than Nemanja Vidic. No, I'm not having that.
I just think there's more players in their own positions in these two teams that would qualify for the best player in that position,
Absolutely
or
disagree.
at least in the conversation.
Disagree with that. I think it's two managers who have helped. What is it you always say? It's something some of their parts better than the sum of their parts. Individually, that Man United team in 08 better than the Liverpool and Man City team. Edwin van der Sar, right up there. Alisson and Ederson, van der Sar, right up there, you'd argue. Patrice Evra,
it was
left back.
It was a great team,
Vidic
but
and
then
Ferdinand.
a year later, it was absolutely outplayed by Barcelona. And I don't think Man City.
That Barcelona team's the best team that we've arguably ever seen.
But I don't think this current Man City team would be outplayed by that Barcelona team in the same way.
But that Man City team hasn't won the Champions League. That Man United team a year before had been. So until City win the Champions League, what's the point you're making? Man United won the double.
So what you're saying is you believe that Manchester United team from 2008 was technically as good as this Manchester City team?
It's not technically as good as at all. If that 08 Man United team took on this Man City team, Man City would still dominate possession, probably 60-40. But that Man United team of 08, the one that went and won the double, would do what Liverpool are doing to Man City in these matchups. They give Man City headaches because they're a direct, strong and powerful team. And that Man United team of 08, absolutely, that's what they do. You remember what they did to Arsenal? I know it was a weak Arsenal team. They went down to the Emirates Stadium and absolutely demolished them with a counter-attacking performance as good as I've seen from a Man United team. And that's what it would be. Man City would dominate possession. But remember, Evra, Vidic, Ferdinand, middle of the park, you had Carrick, you had Scholes, you still had Owen Hargreaves, you had Darren Fletcher, Park Ji-sung to call upon, Giggs, Ronaldo, Nani, Anderson. That's just their midfield. Rooney, Tevez, Ronaldo, Gary Neville, Wes Brown. Now, come on, that Man United squad's the best Man United team, best Man United squad they've had. We went on and added Dimitar Berbatov the following summer. That Man United team of 08, wouldn't dominate possession. City still would, because I'd argue Man City are the best possession team that we've seen in the Premier League. But yeah, they'd scare the life out of that Man City team as well.
Okay, so in your mind, and we're talking, I suppose, about comments initially made by Jamie Carragher, which went viral over the weekend, that he believes that this Man City-Liverpool rivalry, quote unquote, is the greatest that we've seen in the Premier League era. From your mind, you would disqualify it as being a rivalry because it's too friendly, it's too convivial.
Listen, a rivalry is teams that are competing for titles. So I get what he's saying, but it is a bit too convivial for me. Again, it is a bit nice. A rivalry by nature, a bit of spike, a bit of needle. There's none of that. There's great respect to two teams playing the game the right way. You can argue that, right?
What if you look at the top 5 European leagues, when was the last time we saw a rivalry with great needle, bit of spike? I would argue probably Real Madrid-Barca.
Real Madrid-Barca, yeah, I mean, in Germany,
we haven't seen one in the Premier League in a while.
Bayern have dominated for so long. In Italy, yeah, there's always a bit of needle in the Milan derby. Inter Juve, no love lost there. Fiorentina Juve, Fiorentina have not been in the title race, but yeah, in terms of a proper, all eyes, you stop doing what you're doing to watch a game. El Clasico. The El Clasicos. Barca Real.
So from a technical point of view, is Liverpool City now the El Clasico of Europe?
Undoubtedly. Yeah, I think from that perspective, I think City, Liverpool right now are the best two teams. Listen, Champions League, we all know there's luck involved. To win a Champions League, you need a bit of luck. In terms of now, the two teams, top of their power, top. you'd say City and Liverpool, this is the game in the season you look for, you circle and say it's just going to be a really good match because they're two well-coached teams who there's a bit of antithesis in the sense of when you compare and contrast them, styles make fights. Liverpool a little bit more direct. City will look to monopolise the possession, but my goodness, when Liverpool get it, bang, they're at you quickly. And I think that styles, the differing styles of the two teams makes for a really good game.